one thing that's always, because since the addition of the classic class, the introduction into bodybuilding, I remember asking someone and I said, look, your ideal classic physique, is it like a, because people said, oh, they want like Berry DeMay 88 look. They want, and someone said, oh, well, I think the perfect embodiment of a classic physique was Lee Haney. And I was like, well, how can that be? Because Lee Haney was by far, he was the mass monster of his era. 84 to 91, you were competing at 240, 250. Remember the weigh-in at the 88 Olympia? There was guys like 188, 190, 200. So what's your feelings on the classic class being also a mass monster? What's your feelings on that? Because you were pulling vacuums at 240, 250.
Well, yeah, because my last Olympia I weighed 254 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, we're still with a 31.5-inch waist. Exactly.
I think you and Brian Buchanan definitely had the biggest waist to shoulder, waist to chest differential.
Yes, and Brian, believe you me, man, he was in a class by himself. Beautiful physique.
Yeah,
and I've always admired him. But I've always felt as a youngster, if I could put a combination of Robbie and Arnold height and Frank Zane's ability to display, if I could come up with a combination of that, who's going to stop it?
Yeah,
that's classic on a whole nother level. If you can carry mass and still keep your shape, maintain a beautiful vacuum, the look of wholesomeness, then that's unstoppable. Yeah. And I was able to do that at 5'11.5", almost 6 foot tall.
Yeah. So,
and then of course, nature only makes these weird kind of folks, and I was one of them.
Yeah.
Every now and then, there's only one Arnold.
Yeah.
There's only one Franco Colombo, only one Robbie, only one Lee Haney. There was only one's Steve Reeves and Reg Park, only one.
Yeah.
So every now and then, Mother Nature said, okay, it's going to be you. There it is. Nobody have what you have. You're distinctly different, like one Ronnie Coleman.
Yep.
One Dorian Yates. I hear a lot of people say, well, you had to do this, or you had to eat that, or you had to get super supplements. And no. Super supplements don't make you a freak of nature, period. If it was so, it would be 1,000 Lee Haneys, 1,000 Dorian Yates, 1,000 so-and-so, or 1,000 Muhammad Ali, as far as that concerned.
I don't know many 250 guys with a 31-inch waist.
That's weird.
It's mind-blowing, Lee. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Wow. So did your waist ever grow from, say, 84 to 91?
Something,
half an inch?
Their hip structure is what it is. And that's a genetic blueprint. That's the way it is. My dad had small hip structure. I never will forget, I was backstage and had just finished doing a posing, and Jessup Wilcox was sitting there, and I walked back after that. And Joseph stopped me in my track. He said, Lee, he said, turn around. And he spun me around. He said, where's your hips?
Where are they?
He said, what is this? It's impossible,
Yeah. Lee, when I was just after the 1991 Olympia, a few weeks after, Sean Ray did a UK tour. And I was 15 years old, and I asked him, about Dorian Yates, and he said, this was exact words, I remember it very well. I think I recorded it on a tape recorder. And he said, Dorian Yates, he says, man, I've got a feeling that guy's going to become a real thorn in my side.